Look, Kate. Look, you've obviously told us what kind of investor typically goes into regional areas, but let's just give me a summary. If you got a client come to you and you see there's certain, what does their situation look like where they would go into a regional investment property?
Chances are, if they're an investor, they've got tight cash flows, or they've got a tighter budget, and they're really deliberately wanting to go for a house on a full block of land.
Yep.
And if that's their motivation, and it means a lot to them, I have a saying, I don't expect my investors to love what they buy, but I want them to be proud of it.
Yep.
So if for them pride comes from a house on a full block of land, then so be it. That's when we'll go into the regions. Typically, though, it's for cash flow. It's because I've sat down with them and said, okay, we know your borrowing capacity. We know how much you're happy to spend. How much are you happy for this to cost you per month? What's your upper limit? And if someone says to me less than $500 per month is what I'm willing to put in as shortfall, I'm probably taking them to the regions.
Yep.
So that's usually what precipitates that decision to go to the regions. And in terms of who I deal with, I've worked with as young as 22. I had a 22-year-old save his money and buy a beautiful house on 800 square metres of land in a suburb called Eureka. I've had first-time investors, couples, families who have decided that maybe one party, the husband is excited, the wife's a bit nervous, or vice versa. One party's a bit anxious at the idea of spending, $1 million or $800,000. So for them, it's a dunking the toe in the water, but it's also a chance to get familiar and confident. And once you've got confidence and once your partner's on board, then it opens up those emotional blockers, and you can start investing in capital growth assets as well. But I've helped someone who wants to do a 3-site subdivision, and he had fantastic plan, good feasibility assistance at his fingertips, and in the shape of a very responsive town planner and designer. I've also worked with investors that have gone into higher price points and targeted a really beautiful part of the city, knowing that they could have gone into Melbourne and maybe been, in the middle or outer ring, but they've decided being right in Soldiers Hill or Ballarat Central or Geelong City or Newtown, they're banking on getting a better capital growth result in those amazing blue chip areas in the region than what they would be getting in the gentrifying parts of Melbourne. So there's a lot of conversation around the numbers as well, because sometimes that is a reason for me to take someone into an amazing part of a region. It's because they do want capital growth, and I feel that with the budget that they're willing to spend in the region, they will potentially get better capital growth there than what their budget would get them. It's a little bit more limited. If you're working with a $600,000 budget, you're wanting capital growth in Melbourne, it's a little bit harder. And I've helped someone buy a refitted out old pub in Soldiers Hill. So it's this beautiful old hotel with an amazing history, and it's a gorgeous townhouse now. So yeah, it comes in all shapes and sizes.